we're going to talk about the game memory. And there are several different ways to introduce the game of memory to young kids. I have links underneath this video to cards that you can print out at home to make memory cards yourself. And so I have made cards here. You can use, you want to print them out. You want to print 2 sets of each pictures. And you can either use note cards as the backing, you can use construction paper. I had this like old pad of note paper, it's not even post-it notes, and so we really don't use them that often. I was like, oh, you know what, they're the perfect size. I just glued the pictures onto that. So one of the ways you can introduce memory to kids is you can play it face up. So for very young kids, you can literally just have them play face up with the cards and then let them find matches. So you're really just working on the concepts of same and different and the vocabulary words that are on the cards. So you can just take turns with them, finding matches and talking about what the words are. So, oh, worm. I found 2 worms. And then they can take a turn. Rainbow. 2 rainbows. So you can introduce the concept that way. Another way to introduce it, this is one of my favorite ways to introduce the concept of the game of memory, is that you only have 2 cards that are different. So I'm going to call this game pink flower, purple, because if you look, all of the cards are pink except for 2 that are purple. So really, in this very beginning stage of the game, the kids just have to remember where the purple flowers are as they're learning the game. I don't start with too many. I think that 12 is kind of a sweet spot when you're first learning. And so you can go first. And one of the trickiest things with memory is that often when the child plays, they'll want to take the cards to them. And that's really hard to remember where cards go then. So it's really just teaching them that you flip it over and you keep it in the same spot. Oh, pink, pink. No purples yet. And then if the child is sitting across from you, they will often pick the ones right in front of them. Purple, you found a purple. And a pink. Okay, so we really want to remember where that purple is. You want to help them understand the concept of memory is about remembering where the cards are. Okay, so you want to remember that's where purple is, right? Okay. And you'll look at some new ones. And nope, no purples yet. Do not be surprised if each and every turn the child turns over the exact same 2 cards, whether it was a purple or not. So they might see that purple again, and they'll see that pink again. So you could say, oh yeah, we did see that purple before. Oh, and I think we knew that was a pink. Okay. And so you can model looking for new ones. Yeah, not another purple. Oh, I'm looking for the match to that purple. Again, the child might pick the exact same 2 cards. So if they go to pick this one over, you could say, do you remember what that one was? They may remember, they might not. They might not have picked up the concept of memory yet. So if they say nothing, you can let them turn it over. If they say it's a purple, you could tell them, oh, yeah, that's the color we're looking for, isn't it? So if they turn it over, then you could ask them again if they're going to turn this one over. Do you remember what that one is? If they say pink, then you could remind them, that's not the color we're looking for, is it? And then you could cue them maybe to look somewhere else. So that if they take your cue, then they might turn over a different one. They might just turn over the pink again anyway, because they're still learning. So let's say they took your cue and they look at a different one. Oh yeah, still haven't found that purple yet. And you'll model looking for the other purple. Oh, that other purple is really tricky. And they'll turn it over. And maybe they will have taken your cue. If you go to tell them and they look, they look and you say, do you remember what these ones are? Maybe they'll look and they might find that last purple. So this is a fun one. You can play it quite a few times as kids are just learning the concept of memory. And then you can move on to memory with all kinds of different vocabulary words. As you saw this one, we're working on some different spring vocabulary. And then if they're ready for a bigger challenge, you can move into a much wider array. And you could baby step up. You don't have to go on to this many cards. You could go up, 2 by 2.